ridiculous to say Peter Obi doesn't have structures in Masuwen. Neda Masuwen, the candidate of Labour Party for Edo South Senatorial District, has described the assertion that the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, doesn't have structures as ridiculous and fallacious. The Labour Party senatorial candidate has also lamented that the APC has driven the country to a pitiable state. Imasuwen, who was the former senior legislative aide to Senator Matthew Ugoride, added that the ruling party lacks sustainable education policy and meaningful health policies. In an interview with our correspondent, Imasuwen said, "My burning desire to contest Edo South Senatorial District, seat of Edo State, is to offer my services in line with the public outcry for a meaningful change in our governance. The present administration of the ruling party has driven the country to a pitiable state of no economic growth, lack of sustainable education policy, and lack of meaningful health policy. Our health sector has been so neglected to such a low level that our best minds are exiting the country to countries where they can practice their professions unhindered. Insecurity is getting worse, with the present government running out of ideas on how to address this daunting issue. There is growing unemployment of our youth, and there seems to be no solution in sight. In the midst of all these frustrations being experienced by Nigerians, His Excellency Peter Obi himself, a frustrated Nigerian like millions of other Nigerians who understands the issue at hand and armed with the solutions that will reverse this downward trend to a healthy economy, appeared on the scene." On the assertion that Peter Obi doesn't have any structure to win election in 2023, Imasuwen said, "Traditional politicians and their supporters are claiming Peter Obi has no structure, but I consider such assertion as ridiculous and fallacious. Structures are the people, and the new converts are keying into the philosophy of Peter Obi every day, and they are streaming into it everywhere in droves. As a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, if elected, God willing, I will offer my services to the realization of the economic and social policies of His Excellency Peter Obi. I will be one of the drivers that will ensure that his executive bills are expeditiously passed in the Senate." Okay, great. One thing that I really do want to see is, as much as Peter Obi is very much popular, I think what would also give those that are arguing about structure confidence is the fact that if they also see a lot of other Labour Party candidates getting the attention too, because really there are a lot of PDP and APC candidates, we don't even know what they're contesting for, but we know that they're there, and that for each state, for the fact that they're either representing APC or PDP already puts them in the limelight. And Labour Party, I think, is the same thing too. But when it comes to, being in the Senate, House of Representatives, these individuals also do need to be known as well. And I think that is also very much important for Labour Party itself, outside of Peter Obi, to also build its relevance, because really Peter Obi was the one that brought the attention to Labour Party, not necessarily the other way around. And I think that with APC and PDP, you cannot deny the work, whether you call it legit or not. And we know they've been corrupt. It's not, these are three criminal parties, to be honest. But we also cannot deny the work over the years in terms of, gaining dominance in a state. They have done the work. And I think, that can be their confidence, and we use that as experience to be able to, they shouldn't get too cocky, because really, let's not shock them again. I think NSAS will shock them. They tried to ban Twitter, but, we got Twitter back. But the point is, you're now dealing with a different generation. You're dealing with a different set of Nigerians with a different mentality that will not back down. And we have shown that. And I think the confidence that we've shown it in the NSAS process, and even right now as well with the mass registration of voters' cards, and how that is also being a movement being pushed around the youth. That's why the structure would not really matter, because if you have just, a number, the youth itself trying to make the country better for them, I don't think you can, any political strategy. Listen, if the movement is to make Nigeria better, and Peter Obi and Labour Party is the movement, and the youth are willing to back it, you can argue whatever political strategies you want to do, but what Nigerians know, what all the Nigerian youth that want to make Nigeria better, what they know, you don't need to explain to anybody. we all understand and know what the assignment is, and I think that's the most powerful thing that really should be threatening to the other parties. But also, when it comes to the argument of structure and all that, I mean, it's funny because with the APC particularly, they've had the most, the most turnover, if you want to even say. I mean, they've had a lot of individuals, not claiming. I mean, what if Additional came out and said, by the way, I'm not a card carrying member of the APC, so what are you then? Like, I don't understand. Like, we also have so many popular, well-known politicians literally saying, I'm not part of this, I'm not part of this. And I think APC in itself has just, through its desperation, just made things worse for themselves. But it's funny because even with all that, they still do have their followers and they have those supporting them anyways. But I think, obviously, going back to what this lady is saying, the whole structure, it doesn't really matter. I think when you have a movement, it's the movement of the people at this point. Like, what else do you want to say? It's like you don't have to explain to the next person what the assignment is. We know. So if it's that we need to get our PVCs, yes, we do push for getting our PVCs, as churches are pushing the same thing. Some concerts are like, no entry, no PVC, no entry. This is good, raising awareness. So I think the whole structure, I mean, it's just tiring, and the whole structure is coming from really APC and PDP, because I think that is their strategy, that is their confidence, but it also shows that is one thing that they're also threatened by, that they're depending on this structure. But really, these individuals you're complaining have no structure. They have shown you that they can be, the tendencies are there. And I think, they are also getting the message that the youth are not coming to play. So maybe that is what is threatening the most, and that's the only thing that they have structure. Because really, when it comes to the want of the people that are a majority, it's crazy. I mean, I was looking at some projections the other day, and I saw that, I mean, the voting population in 2023 could potentially double. And that is huge because, I think if it doubles, I think it would be around 60 million Nigerians voting. And that would be amazing, because I think before, probably 2019 or even 2015, I think it was around 20 million. And that is crazy because that's literally 10% of the population, which is 25 million. I mean, Nigeria is over 200 million. So when you have 10% of the, I mean, get into mind, we are a lot. So when you have 10% of the population deciding the next 4 years, can't happen. Cannot happen. Everybody has got to be involved. This is everybody's country, and everybody has one vote. So whether you are in this top position or you have a position of influence, every vote counts and every vote matters. No one vote is more important than the other. But when you have a movement and you collate all together, that's when the power really works. So it's not about you being the individual. It's about the movement, the assignment, and unity. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.